Om. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Keeping your back, neck and head in a straight line, in a comfortable position, fingers interlocked, feet on the ground or sitting cross-legged, relaxed, a happy disposition. Which is possible only when we are not obsessive about the future or the past. Making a commitment to come into the utter present with alertness, having a resolve not to be enslaved by imaginations, remaining as the witness of whatever the broth is boiling in the mind. Every thought is a bubble which comes and which goes. You are not the thought. You are the observer of the thought. Maintain that position, that poise. For it is true, as the scriptures declare, that the self that I am in essence is always just as a shadow is absence of something. Just because we have a word shadow does not mean there is an object called shadow. And that is why we say it is mithya, existing in its own absence. Similarly, when we say this entire world of names and forms, the entire past and future, the entire F, F, all objectivity, outside world and inner world, all this has come out of ignorance. It is the effect of ignorance. And what is ignorance? That which appears to be but is not. So, whatever is the effect of ignorance, can it have validity? Apart from the self, apart from the self, there is nothing. This is the language of negation. So, when do we talk about negation? We talk about negation when we are thinking of inner or outer objectivity. We want to negate. But problem of ours is, how can we negate? How can you negate that which does not exist? How can you remove the wave which is existing in its own absence? There is only water. How can you remove the wave? How can you remove the dream? Yes, you wake up and the dream gets over. But when you were dreaming, was the dream real? No, it was as much unreal as it was after you woke up, because it was not there only in the first place. Exactly the same way, ignorance, whose effect is desires, which prompts all actions, but desire and actions are products, effects of ignorance. We become very fixated on the desires. I want to desire, my desire is to liberate. That is only in the interim. Eventually that also has to be given up. Because how can effect of ignorance be knowledge? So whether it is the effect of ignorance is desire, effect of desire is action. So how can effect of ignorance be equal to knowledge? Take a chill pill and think about this. Contemplate how our mind is obsessed in objectivity. Next point. Is ignorance possible? Ignorance means absence of knowledge. Just like shadow is not an object, mirage is not an object. Yes, it is appearing, but it is not an object. It is an illusion. Similarly, ignorance is not an object of knowledge. Another word for ignorance is self-forgetfulness. Self-forgetfulness is not possible only. See how deeply we have got entrenched into wrong thinking. Yes, ignorance effect karma and karma, but ignorance is itself not there. It is existing in its own absence. Another, and now connect the other word which I told you. Ignorance also means self forgetfulness. Have we ever become self forgetful? Is there any time from childhood till today that you have forgotten that I am not? Have you ever come to this? I am not. You may have said, I am not a child anymore, I am not a teenage anymore, I am not a youth anymore, I am not a bachelor anymore, I am not a young fellow anymore, I am not hungry anymore. But have you ever said, I am not anymore? I don't exist anymore. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever come to that conclusion? No. So we have never forgotten ourselves. So why these words were introduced? Only to teach the mind and get him out of the way. Think in this manner, contemplate in this manner, rather than remove ignorance. Realize you are Tattvamasi. You are that. You are that consciousness. Prajnanam Brahma. Just as our identity about ourselves is I am the body, and you don't keep thinking I am the body, I am the body, I am the body all the time. It's a foregone conclusion. It must be replaced with I am of the nature of infinite consciousness. And we don't have to think about it again and again. Come to the correct conclusion. Only for communication purposes I am saying conclusion, because conclusion also denotes that it is a destination. Self is not a destination. Self is eternal. Self is ever existing. Self is all knowing. Self is blissful. Self is unborn. And I am that. Remember this not only on the meditation seat, but even when interacting in the world. Come from the consciousness as the consciousness. See the entire world as an expansion of this consciousness, which is existing in its own absence. Or see it as an expression of the divine alone. And be happy.